Hi guys, welcome back. Today video is about research. What is actually research? Research is gathering information together. We are going to talk about primary and secondary research first. And actually, what is primary research? Primary research involves gathering data that has not been collected before. We use interviews, surveys, observation, or any other types of research that you collected yourself. How did I use primary research? Before I'm going to talk about my primary research, I want you to focus on three different researches which are really important, which is the audience research, market research, and production research. Audience research is basically who is watching this, who is this focused on. Market research is more about what is likable or what is not likable, what is popular and what is not popular. And production research is how to make it. These three researches were considered in my questionnaire in my primary research. So let's go to the primary research. As you can see, for my primary research, I used a questionnaire where I targeted audience between 5 to 7 years old. As you can see, my questionnaire is already considered the target audience, which means I already know how to word my questions and I worded them the way that the children will understand, which meant I asked them, are you a boy or are you a girl? How old are you? What's your favorite color? Do you watch cartoons? What's your favorite cartoon? And this is giving me the answer what I need for market research, which means what's the popularity of these specific things that can help me with my animation. Pluses of primary research are the accessibility and it also is the target audience responses, which means it's giving us the nearest response to our audience, but the cons can be bias, which means that it's going to be only from that specific group you are going to send it to. So, for example, I send it to the school children, which means that it's only the school children and it's not generally just 5 to 7 years old. Let's focus on these questions. Do you like watching cartoons? Are you a boy or a girl? Or do you watch cartoons? These questions can be divided in quantitative research or qualitative research. So let's more focus on that. But what is quantitative research? Quantitative research is the process of collecting and analyzing numerical data. It can be used to find patterns and averages to make predictions, test causal relationships, and generalize results to wider population. But what are the methods of quantitative research? In surveys, is the list of close or multiple choice questions that is distributed to a sample, which is in online, in person, or over the phone. Experiments are in situation in which different types of variables are collected and controlled or manipulated to establish cause and effect relationships, or observation, where the observation subject is in a natural environment where the variables cannot be controlled. Actually, what is the opposite of quantitative research? That will be the qualitative research. What is the qualitative research? Qualitative research involves collecting and analyzing non-numerical data. The qualitative research is asking you for your opinions and experience. It helps us to generate problem in depth and it helps us to generate new ideas. But what are the methods of qualitative research? In observation is the recording of what you have seen, heard, or encountered in detailed filed notes. In surveys is the distribution questionnaires with open-ended questions. And also it's in secondary research. So let's talk about secondary research. What is secondary research? Secondary research is a research method that uses data that was collected by someone else. What are actually the methods of secondary research? Secondary research is using methods as a quantitative and qualitative in nature. It often used data gathered from published peer-reviewed papers, meta-analysis, or government or private sector databases or dataset. How did I use secondary research? I used secondary research for gathering information about animation data and animation styles and what are the opinions on these kind of topics, like what is the dislikes or what are not the dislikes of this particular animation, and how can I improve it, and what should be my targeted colors or targeted points of view. And also it gave me inspiration for my own animation and slow blurs in creative media. Our last thing here is the research techniques, which are the questionnaires, interviews, focus groups, data gathering agencies, and YouTube tutorials. How to do efficient questionnaire/survey in 6 steps. In first step, you should decide who will be your aim audience or like your target audience so you know how to aim these questions. Your second step should be deciding how are you going to present your own survey or questionnaire, if it's going to be online, in person, or by email. In third step, you should decide which questions you will ask and how will you ask them. It's really important to consider this. There are opened and closed end questions and surveys. They're usually mixed, so it's fine if you mix them. You need to also consider the type of the question, the content of the questions, the paraphrasing of the questions, and the ordering and layout of the survey. Closed-end questions are, as I told you already, in quantitative research, and open-end questions are in the qualitative research. In first step, you should consider a plan of survey, which is the timing, location, methods, and practices before you begin. In fifth step, you should analyze the survey results. There are many methods for analyzing the survey results. There are many processes of the data. Typically, you can use a computer program. By removing the responses that were given inaccurately or incompletely, you should also clean the data. And the last step of the questionnaire is write up your survey results. This is necessary information that you gathered and you examined. It's important because at least you will not forget what's the answers. Also, don't forget how did you use the questions, what are the types of questions, and the sample strategy, time and location of the survey, and the responses rate. And lastly, what I'm going to talk about is the YouTube tutorials, where you can gain the secondary research, where you can gain the perspective of other people and their opinions, qualitative research, and also the social/technical skills, where you can see the other methods of animations. And last one but not least is the focus groups, which I would rather prefer of you using, because you can choose the focus group and you can gain the targeted response that you need for the research. It helps you to gain perspective over your own audience. It helps you to gain ideas, and it also shows you how the audience of yours is thinking. Thank you for watching this video.